Hey everyone, I am Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth. And what I do is I'm a health coach. What I do is I help women make healthier choices to improve their optimal health. And today, what I want to talk about is why I do what I do. So let me give you a little bit of backstory here. So I haven't always been a health coach. I haven't always been a personal trainer. I haven't even always been healthy. For the first 10 years of my career, I actually started out in technology. And I used to teach folks how to use computers. This was way back in the day of Lotus 123 and the beginnings of Windows. And so I would teach folks how to use computers. And eventually I moved into other high-tech companies, and that's actually where I met my husband, Gary. I was living in Chicago at the time, and Gary was living in Austin, Texas. And so we were dating long distance for about 5 months, and decided that if we were going to try and see if we were right for each other, we should probably live in the same city. So I moved from Chicago to Austin, Texas. The company that I worked for at the time didn't require the move. However, they supported it. In the position I was doing at the time, I could do my job from anywhere. And so in that move, my mom had been battling breast cancer for quite some time. Probably, I don't know, maybe about 10 years at that point. And just before we had decided that I was going to move to Austin, Texas, her cancer reemerged, and her breast cancer had moved into the bone. And so, I didn't want to be in a position where I was going to be having to be in the middle of a move and have her die. And, there's never a good time for these things. So I just decided to go ahead and move. But her health took a turn, and upon actually landing in Austin, Texas, I pretty much got on a plane and flew back to Chicago the following day because she was passing away. So what that did was it really kind of spurred in me what I saw her die from this disease, and I was really moved to make sure that this did not impact me. So I started researching breast cancer and what impact it has on health, or not what impact it has on health, but how not to get it, basically. And so what I found out was that being overweight was a huge risk factor to getting breast cancer, as well as a whole host of other diseases. So I was still working in technology at the time and decided that this was something that I needed to prevent in myself. So that's when I really started losing the weight that I needed to lose in order to become a healthier person. Some of the things that I did were I gave up red meat or all meat products altogether. I started eating vegetables, and I went through this journey of finding different techniques to see if they would work on myself. And so at the age of 30, I really started exercising and losing weight very slowly. This was just after she had passed away. Now, let me talk about my mom for just a minute. And my mom was a huge influence on my life, clearly, if that's why I am here today. Politics were always something that we talked about in our family, and she taught me at a very young age to volunteer, to be of service to others. And she was also a huge feminist. I remember being a kid and having her bring me along with marches for the ERA, which was never ratified. But she taught us as kids to volunteer and serve the other people in our community whenever we could. So at this point in my career, I'm losing weight, and I'm still working in the software business. My husband and I are married. We do not have children. And many people want to leave their mark on the world as, their legacy as having children, hoping that the world will become a better place by raising good human beings into this world. And Gary and I have chosen just not to have children. So I started questioning, how am I going to make the world a better place? And the answer that I came up with is, I want to help people live healthier lives. I help women become healthier, and I've chosen women specifically because women are generally the head of their households, and they are the decision makers within their families. Women are also the caretakers of future generations. So women have this incredible role within their families to teach everyone that they come in contact with about how to live healthier lives, how to take care of themselves, and how to exercise and be role models for their children. I am a feminist, and what feminism means to me is that it's not that men are bad, and it's not that women are better. I think feminism is about equality for everyone. And it doesn't matter whether you're a woman or a man. It doesn't matter what your religious affiliation is. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, or what your LGBT basis is. So I really, since I want everyone to become healthier, I am political. I am a very political person. My parents talk politics all the time. And I've never brought politics into my brand before because it's never really seemed, I never knew how to introduce it. And unfortunately, with the way that the United States is right now and what just recently happened in Charlottesville, I don't really feel like I can not talk about that in my practice anymore. And here's why. Here's why it fits within my brand. Because some people will probably criticize me and say, you're a fitness pro, you should just be talking about health and food and working out. But there's a huge piece that is so much more than just the foods that we eat and how we exercise. So politicians create laws, okay? Nothing new. Laws influence our public policy and people's views on things. So an example of that is that now that marijuana is becoming more accepted, then because we're creating laws around that, it's not being as demonized anymore. So law has a direct relationship on people's views on those policies and those areas. People's views also directly influence our discrimination, okay? So the way that people think about public policy directly influences how people influence and talk to other people. Discrimination, then, for those people who are discriminated against, those people, that discrimination influences their self-esteem. And self-esteem is directly related to how we how we take care of ourselves. There's actual data out there that shows that people who are have less income are less healthy. There's data to show that minorities have less access to food as well as safe environments to exercise. And there's also data to show that the LGBT youth also have a higher mortality rate as well as a higher smoking rate. And so all of these things influence how people take care of themselves. I feel like within this video, I'm kind of coming out. And those people who know me personally know that I am a very passionate person and that this is something that is just part of who I am. But I feel like for those followers of my business that I'm coming out to you. And I just want you to know that you may see more political things in my feed. But if you're looking at that through the lens of how the citizens of our nation are taking care of themselves, I don't think it's outside of my brand to do that. I just want to follow up and finish off with just saying that I really want everyone to be healthy, and that is actually my ultimate goal. And how I do that, whether that's from the top down or from helping individuals, I think that it's completely appropriate for me to talk about policy because, again, the mental aspect of how we view ourselves will directly influence how we take care of ourselves. If we don't feel that we are worth taking care of ourselves, then we're not going to do it. And so that's ultimately where I'm coming from as a business. Again, I am Elizabeth Sherman. Thank you for watching me. I am doing 30 days of video. If you have any questions for me, I would love to answer them. Go ahead and put them in the comments, or if you want to message me directly, I would love to hear that too. I'll see you later.